biggest thing to do is
go full gas.
Welcome to the GCN show. Coming up this week, we'll wrap up the 2014 World Tour as it draws to a conclusion in Beijing. Plus, drawing a close is the European road season. And we'll be discussing the future of gear shifting.
Or not, in fact.
Oh, fuck!
We've also got tweet, caption, club, and comment of the week. Probably more things of the week as well, actually, when we remember them.
whatever's in the bus, really.
Last week, we took a close look at a brand new prototype intelligent gearing system called BioShift. Essentially, it turns your Shimano Di2 automatic. And it's much more sophisticated and better than you'd think. So, Si, what's it actually like?
Well, I was genuinely impressed at the amount of thought that's gone into this. Armando, the inventor, is clearly a very, very bright guy and also a passionate cyclist. But it was only when I'd got home from riding it that it really crystallised what I thought. And that is that I don't change gear rationally anymore. I ride and I dictate my riding depending on what's happening on the road ahead. So getting out of the saddle instead of changing gear, all that kind of stuff. And actually it feels very strange when you then start changing gear rationally. A bit like when I used to train to a certain power and I had to stop myself going too hard. So it was quite strange, but I'm just glad that the technology exists. I think it's good that things are continuing to move forward.
I actually meant what was the saddle like, but still, thanks for that long piece about the gears. Now, as we expected, this has caused quite a stir, this brand new technology in our comment section.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be against it on the basis that it takes some of the fun out of riding. Now, I don't disagree with you, but it's kind of weird, isn't it, given that a lot of people like riding fixies and single speeds, and they don't have to worry about changing gear either.
I thought commenter Peter Maxfield put things quite succinctly. What happened to just riding a f***ing bike?
Yes, indeed, Peter. Well, here's one just for you. None of that modern tech shenanigans, all about riding the bike. For the full video about BioShift and to wade into the debate, just click on the link in the description below this video.
The last World Tour race of the year kicked off last Friday, the Tour of Beijing, in what will be the last edition of the race for the foreseeable future. Luka Mezec of Giant Shimano kicked off exactly where he left off last year by winning stage 1 in a sprint.
Stage 2 was actually shortened due to excessive smog at the finish line, but it was Philippe Gilbert who capitalised on the new uphill finish, taking the win and enough bonus seconds to take the overall lead as well.
Stage 3 also ended up in a bunt sprint, which was taken this time by Tyler Farrar of Garmin Sharp, his first victory of the season. The following day, his teammate Dan Martin won the mountaintop finish, but Philippe Gilbert in third place did enough to hold on to the overall lead.
He duly held on to that over the final stage, which was won by
I better hope that they do dub the result there after the insults you flung at them last week, Si.
That'd be fine, mate. There's a lot of respect, mutual respect going on.
I'm the most beautiful GCN presenter.
Caption of the week now. Last week we gave you this photo of
Michał Kwiatkowski.
doing Lord knows what to his bike. And the winner was Curtis Eaton with this, Taste the Rainbow. Nice.
This week's photo comes to you from the Tour of Beijing. Once again, we shall get you started. Why have I always got to carry Matt Stevens' shoes to his hotel room?
I do like cheese, but not in that kind of quantity, really.
Now, if you want to enter, all you have to do is put your caption in the comments section down below.
A plethora of one-day races took place across France and Italy last week. John Degenkolb took his 10th victory of the season at Paris-Bourges, and a few days later the little-known Yeli Wallets took a huge victory at the classic Paris Tours.
Sonny Colbrelli, a rider who's been linked to Team Sky for next year, won the Coppa Sabatini, and at the Giro dell'Emilia it was Rossella Ratto who won the women's event.
And in the men's, well, that was won by a certain Davide Rebellin.
You know, Rebellin's actually as old as Matt Stevens.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was old, but I didn't realise he was that old.
Have you got your bus pass yet? No, forget it. I'm not. No, leave it.
This week's Club of the Week was sent in by 12-year-old Joseph King. He said the Hunter District CC is a great club because they're very supportive and successful, sending 2 rides to the Commonwealth Games Track Series and National Junior Track Series. Now, we almost missed this club, but thankfully Joseph wrote back in again saying, "We're the best."
Great tactic there, Joseph. Now, if you want your club featured as our club of the week, and just let us know in the comments section below. So that's pretty much goodbye road season. Hello Cyclocross.
Yes, hello.
Sven Nys looked in imperious form at the first round of the Bpost Bank Trofee in Ronse. He put 50 seconds into teenage prodigy Mathieu van der Poel, and Klaas van Toornout rounded out the podium in third.
In the women's race, it was Sophie de Boer of Callas NNOF who took the victory ahead of Helen Wyman and Jolien Verskuren. The GCN Strava Club is almost up to 9,000 members, and we're going to have a special prize for the 10,000th member, so make sure you get your friends to sign up and get involved. If we look at the leaderboard from last week, the most amount of riding went to Dan O, who did 1,306.8 kilometres around Southern California. Guess there's worse places to ride.
Yeah. In the longest ride competition, Stefano Ficini rode from Perth to Pemberton, which is 443.4 kilometres in a little under 17 hours. But we've got to give an honourable mention as well to Wujek G, who finished second in that competition, just 1 kilometre less, but he did it in half an hour faster. So probably Betsy wished she'd ridden around the block at the end of that.
Brian Toon has regained his title with the most amount of climbing. He did 22,132 metres of ascent. Last week, Andy Schleck called a press conference, and there wasn't much speculation as to what it might be about, mainly because we could all guess.
Yeah, at 29 years of age, Andy Schleck has called time on his cycling career. A knee injury sustained at the Tour de France this year has proved to be his undoing, although he's struggled to find form in recent years, leading many people to wonder whether this is just a case of the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep, arguably one of the most talented riders of the modern generation, and he was second at the Giro d'Italia in 2007 at the age of just 22. He also won Liège-Bastogne-Liège and retrospectively won the Tour de France in 2010. It's an enviable palmarès that probably should be respected regardless of the length of his career.
Absolutely. Another rider to end his career last week was Garmin Sharp's David Miller. He chose a hill climb as his last race. And for those of you not familiar with this peculiarly British institution, it involves doing a time trial of a short and vomit-inducing climb. Miller ended up 21st in the Beck CC hill climb.
Consolation of that 21st place though being that he didn't actually vomit at the top. Miller's career spanned a lengthy 18 years and it was full of highs and lows. Over the course of it, he took the leader's jersey in all 3 of the Grand Tours, taking a stage win at each at least along the way. However, he's probably best known over recent years for his outspoken stance against doping after he served a ban for it himself. Now, our comment of the week comes from Andrew Rusen, and it's not a short one, but bear with us because it is worth it. He says, "Hi guys, love the show. I also love my GCN kit, it sure turns heads. I've fully tested it out, including the ability of the bib shorts to contain severe diarrhea, not pretty. Last week I was making an Everest attempt in my GCN kit, and at about 3,000 metres I got sick due to a major gastric bug which has been going around Christchurch, New Zealand. One of the disadvantages of bib shorts is that you can't get them off fast enough, and I had to descend the hill, which is long and technical, standing on the pedals. Luckily it was 4 AM and in a remote rural area. I'm having another go soon, and I'll be wearing my GCN kit, of course."
Nice comment, Andrew. And make sure next time you send us some photos of the Everest attempt.
Coming up on the channel this week, on Monday we showed you how to change your gear cables. Sometimes old cables can become frayed and worn, as you can see here on our filthy old felt, but luckily it's not a difficult job to replace them yourself, as I'm about to prove to you now. Tuesday is this GCN show. On Wednesday we're going to show you how to climb an alpine climb.
The high mountains are the theatres of dreams for cyclists, and it's where some of the most epic battles are fought and rivalries played out.
And on Thursday, we'll give you the top 10 excuses for getting dropped on a climb.
After my chain came off, then I couldn't get my foot in, then I punctured, it's a nightmare, and then I fell off, then I got to the cafe and it was closed.
Sorry lads, I didn't realise we did steep climbing today. If I'd known, I wouldn't have brought my aero bike, I'd have brought my lightweight bike. Like these wheels alone are 464 grams heavier than the ones on my climbing bike. Guys?
Now this might seem a little bit like deja vu. Friday we delve into the murky world of tech once again, this time comparing aerodynamic versus lighter non-aerodynamic bikes. And on Saturday we've got the last presenter's bike.
See what I did there, Si?
Thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. But remember, on Sunday, we're still going back through the GCN vaults in our Off the Back show.
Tweet of the week comes from Garmin Sharp's Alex Howes. He said, "Every morning I wake up during the off-season, I feel like an old dog that's been out running with puppies. So sore, new muscles, on season."
I tell you what, I can't imagine what Alex Howes has been up to in his off-season. I hope he's been enjoying his time with puppies.
Mr. Oleg Tinkoff has been back in the headlines last week. He's put €1 million on the table to try and entice the best Grand Tour riders to compete at all of the Grand Tours in 2015.
I think that this is good for the race, good for the cycling, good for the all fans.
The biggest thing to do is
Go full gas.
Now, Let's Talk Cycling has sparked something of a debate between Oleg Tinkoff and Adam Hansen. Hansen, you'll remember, has ridden the last 10 Grand Tours consecutively. How do you feel about Oleg Tinkoff offering a bit of cash for doing 3 Grand Tours? Get onto him for some? He must feel like he needs to train more or have more talent to be able to win a Grand Tour. Adam Hansen replied, "That's true, Oleg Tinkoff, but from the last 10 Grand Tours, I've finished more times in front of Alberto Contador."
Anyway, we'll keep you updated on this riveting saga over the coming weeks, as per usual, really.
So we'll leave you with Extreme Corner. This week it's the Red Bull Dreamline.
And next week we'll come back with Matt Stevens' run down said Dreamline.
Coming out trying to enjoy myself. I know, so I was spoiling it, picking on me.
Thanks for watching. If you like the video, remember to like it. Click on the thumbs up just in the corner there.
And if you don't yet follow us here on YouTube, you can do exactly that by clicking on the subscribe button down below.